Red Lanterns number 27, written by Charles Soule, art by Jim Calafiore and Alessandro Vitti. So, last issue, we had the death of Ratchet after the Red Lanterns rescued a planet from a dictatorship and blah, blah, blah. So, this planet apparently built them statues, all these core Red Lanterns they had. And the Red Lanterns are looking on, commenting, saying like, all right, looks pretty good. All except for Guy's, though, because Guy still looks like he does on the cover of this book, the classic way you think. But turns out in the meantime, he's grown out his hair, and best way I could describe it is a biker's mustache. So the people of this planet are kneeling before them, being like, hey, thank you so much for freeing us. We were forced to make statues, which is why we decided to make some for you, using our skills to the best. Gensui, the evil dictator, we've hunted down all of his supporters, and we are eliminating them one by one so that it will never happen again. And all the people are like, or all the Red Lanterns like, look, here's the thing. Cool with you trying them, cool with you bringing them to justice, but the word eliminate, don't do that, or else we're going to have to come back for you. Don't become monsters. Be cool. So all those people leave. I guess they're on Yzmalt, so they just leave Yzmalt, go back to their own planet. And Bleez points out, like, hey, when Ratchet died, his ring went off into space. It found a new Red Lantern host. We should probably go find that. They run rampant until they're dipped into the blood lake, so we need to go find them and get them here so they can think, critically. And Guy's like, cool, you want to go do that? And she's like, yeah, that's the whole reason I brought it up. And he's like, why? Are you gonna go ahead and try to make yourself a new Red Lantern pet the same way you wanted to use me? And she's like, come on, I'm a different person than I was back then. And he's like, I don't trust you, but fine, whatever. And then Rancor shows up, and he's like, hey, I want to come too. I want to explore the universe. Turns out I'm really into interstellar travel. And Bleez is like, no, I don't want to do that. And Guy's essentially like, go ahead, do it. So they take off and go to find out where the new Red Lantern is. Meanwhile, Guy is left with Zilius and not Ratchet, Scalix. And he's like, hey, you guys want to go to Earth? And they're like, yeah, sweet, awesome road trip. So we follow Bleez and Rancor, and we kind of just get a page where Rancor's like, hey, I'm in over my head, and I would like some guidance here. This universe, it's so amazing. I've seen so many cool things. I'm happy that you could give me some guidance. And she's like, yeah, sure, I guess, whatever. But what do you want to know? And he's just, asking some questions of like, oh, well, how are you tracking down the ring? Like, what's going on with that? And she explains that he just basically says all the rings have a signature and I could track it down easily. So we follow the other lanterns going back to Earth, and Guy basically lays it down of like, hey, just so you guys know, you haven't been to Earth, right? And you're like, no. It's like, okay, just so you guys know, Earth has like 2 or 3 dozen people that, like, if they show up, you just don't start a fight, okay? In fact, don't start a fight with anybody, okay? Just show up there. I want to show you around my hometown of Baltimore, and try not to get in a fight with, like, I don't know, Superman. So as they go down to Baltimore, everyone's like, or Scalix and Zilius are both like, this place sucks. You guys haven't even learned how to make spherical buildings. Like, this place sucks. And Guy's like, all right, well, screw you guys. Here, I'm sending you a list of coordinates to places you might find cool. I'm going off to do my own thing. So he flies off, and they do their own thing. And meanwhile, Guy flies off to Norway. He goes to a cabin, knocks on the door, and as the door opens, he's immediately blasted with like a snow ice vortex that turns him into an ice cube. And standing there is Tora, aka Ice, who she's not happy to see Guy. And he's just like, wow, Tora, that was ice cold. And she's like, God, I hate you so much. So he melts himself out of the ice block, walks in, and he's basically saying like, hey, yeah, I got a new look. You may notice red. That's kind of a thing now. And he basically shows up and says, yeah, when we last left, we were arguing with each other a lot. And I know that I have issues with anger, and that's a whole thing. But now I've joined the Red Lanterns, and their whole thing is anger. Like, I'm deep down in rage. And Ice is like, is that supposed to be a good thing? You're saying it like it's a good thing. It sounds like a bad thing. And he's like, no, you don't understand. Like, I had problems controlling my anger, but now that I'm in the Red Lantern Corps, like all that I could think about if I didn't control it is rage. But like clearly I'm not doing that, so I must be even better at controlling my anger than before. And she's like, okay, cool. Did you stop drinking? And he's like, no, I'm not there yet, but maybe. So at that point, we cut to Scalix and Zilius, and they go to the Grand Canyon. They're like, it's a hole. Who cares? Next, they go to the Red Sea, and they're like, this is our blood lake is red. This is just water. And then they go to Paris, and there's this giant like sphere there, and Zilius is like, thank you. Finally, someone got it right. And at that point, it's like, all right, well, the final place that we can go to is a place called Las Vegas. I don't know if it's going to be worth it. But before they can go anywhere, they're stopped by Shadow Thief, who, if you didn't know from the, I think, Hawkman books, Shadow Thief is all about hunting down aliens. Like, not imperatively a villain, but definitely doesn't like aliens. So she traces their, like, signature and says, like, I've get out of my planet. And he's just like, you do understand the suit you're wearing, the shadow suit, is from an alien technology, right? Like that's probably what you're smelling. And she's like, oh well, still either way, it doesn't matter. I'm using it to hunt down aliens. And Zilius is like, hey, wait a minute, hold on, you're from Earth, right? And she's like, yeah. It's like, what's a testicle? And then she just loses it, starts blasting both of them. They start using their Red Lantern energy on her. Her suit just absorbs it because it's light, so it's just able to absorb it. But then Zilius shows up and barfs the like napalm blood all over her, and she's like, "Oh God, all right, that's gross." So we see Guy still talking to Tora, basically trying to fix things up, saying like, hey, look, we had some good times. Maybe we should try it again. And she's like, yeah, no, we did have good times, but they always resulted in more bad times. That's why we stopped. And she's about to say no, but then all of a sudden Guy gets a call from Scalix saying, hey, we may have accidentally, fought against someone. We could use some backup. And he's like, hey, I got to go solve a problem. How about you come with? You watch me. I will solve it without even throwing a punch. That's how I can show you that I'm in control of things now. And she's like, okay, sure. So, final page, we got Rancor and Bleeze arriving at the energy signature of Ratchet's ring. And as they land, they find a tiny little cabin. And it's like, all right, that's weird. Why would they be in here? And as Rancor pushes open the door, they see inside is Atrocitus and Dexstar, along with the new Red Lantern. That's like a bug-looking creature. So, yeah, there's a lot there. I like it, personally. I think this is a super solid issue of building up a bunch of different plots, getting to play nice with each other. Obviously, we already had Atrocitus getting his ring back in previous issues. We had the idea of Ratchet's ring going out. That's a good way to get them re-engaged with each other. I think this is smart writing all about. I'm really enjoying it. As for the ice plot, it has potential. I don't think it's quite there yet. I want to see what they do with it next issue, but it has potential to be something that can really give some more motive to Guy's character, because right now he does feel a little bit listless. So yeah, overall, I'm going to say this is I'm going to give it an 8. I really do enjoy it. I think it's a solid book, and I'm looking forward to the next month's issue.